The Power of Awareness, Chapter 13. Power of Awareness, written by Master Teacher and Mystic Neville Goddard in 1952. This is a reading accompanied by commentary by instructor Robert Meade. Man's perceptions are not bounded by the organs of perception. He perceives more than sense, though ever so acute, can discover. Perceptions. Our perceptions are the ability to see, hear, or become aware of something through our five senses. This is the normal limits to human perception. Neville makes it clear that man's perceptions are not limited or bounded by these normal organs of perception, but that he perceives more than the physical senses can discover. And so the question remains, can what we accept, perceive as true, be imagined differently, be discovered differently, with different results? Neville continues, however much you seem to be living in a material world, you are actually living in a world of imagination. The outer physical events of life are fruit of forgotten blossom times, results of previous and usually forgotten states of consciousness. They are ends running true to oft-times forgotten imaginative origins. Neville goes on to postulate that we can change our results by what we choose to be absorbed in, what we assume and imagine as true in our world. Notice, whenever you become completely absorbed in an emotional state, you are at that moment assuming the feeling of the state fulfilled. If persisted in whatsoever you are intensely emotional about, you will experience in your world. These periods of absorption, of concentrated attention, are the beginnings of things you harvest. When Neville speaks of assuming the feeling of the state fulfilled, notice the word fulfilled is past tense. This is a reference to his long-standing teaching of imagining what you want to see happen in your life as already yours. And by assuming it with feeling, being completely absorbed in it with your concentrated attention, that is what you plant and that is what you will harvest. Whether these moments are literal moments or deliberate meditations that take longer than a few moments, notice the results for us. It is in such moments that you are exercising your creative power, the only creative power there is. At the end of these periods or moments of absorption, you speed from these imaginative states where you have not been physically to where you were physically an instant ago. In these periods, the imagined state is so real that when you return to the objective world and find that it's not the same as the imagined state, it is an actual shock. You have seen something in imagination with such vividness that you now wonder whether the evidence of your senses can now be believed. And like Keats, you ask, was it a vision or a waking dream? Fled is that music. Do I wake or sleep? This reverses your time sense. By this is meant that instead of your experience resulting from your past, it now becomes a result of being in imagination where you have not yet been physically. In effect, this moves you across a bridge of incident to the physical realization of your imagined state. This is the power of imagination, that you can actually imagine with such vividness something being so real and true in your life that it will move you across a series of events we can't predict, that link us to our accomplished reality physically. Again, this bridge of incident is Neville's term for a series of events or occurrences in your life that happen as a result of you vividly imagining something true for your future and imagining as it is fulfilled already in your life. And it's all because you became absorbed and made vivid that imaginary state primarily through meditation. As we continue, we will see that he also gives us 3 specific keys that a man or woman can possess through practice to change their outcome and results. The man who at will can assume whatever state he pleases has found the keys of the kingdom of heaven. The keys are desire, imagination, and a steadily focused attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled. These 3 keys are given great detail on how you can use them in a practical manner, even beginning today. And they are found in Chapter 19 of this same book, The Power of Awareness, Chapter 19, Essentials. And I encourage you to study and apply that to actually utilize these keys. Neville continues, to such a man, any undesirable objective fact is no longer a reality, and the ardent wish no longer a dream. Now that power of God is now challenged within us. Notice, prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that there shall not be room enough to receive it. Neville then highlights what these opening of windows means for us. The windows of heaven may not be opened and the treasures seized by a strong will, but they open of themselves and present their treasures as a free gift, a gift that comes when absorption reaches such a degree that it results in a feeling of complete acceptance. Yes, these treasures come to us, but not because we've made them happen or forced them into reality. It's because we've imagined them to be true with such absorption in our meditations and feel them, the feeling of what it would be like to actually have that already in our lives. We therefore completely accept, and therefore the title of this chapter, acceptance. We fully believe and accept them as true, and on a subconscious level, with the power of awareness and our God within, they are then seen in our physical world. Continuing, the passage from your present state to the feeling of your wish fulfilled is not across a gap. There is continuity between the so-called real and unreal. To cross from one state to another, you simply extend your feelers, trust your touch, and enter fully into the spirit of what you are doing. Not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord of hosts. Yes, become intensely emotionally involved in imagining what you want to see result in your life, and vividly sense, feel, touch in your imagination. Imagine, reach out to it in your imagination and see it as done, and results will follow. After practicing this amazing method of bringing your desires into manifestation, you will not be surprised, because you'll get used to seeing results from this practice. As Neville states, assume the spirit, the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and you'll have opened the windows to receive a blessing. To assume a state is to get into the spirit of it. Your triumphs will be a surprise only to those who did not know your hidden passage from the state of longing to the assumption of the wish fulfilled. The Lord of hosts will not respond to your wish until you have assumed the feeling of the already being what you want to be. For acceptance is the channel of his action. Acceptance is the Lord of hosts in action. I encourage you to listen to this several times, along with reading this chapter to yourself as you listen, and you'll find this to be part of my playlist on my channel, where I am covering the complete book, The Power of Awareness.